Gun battle at Little Bohemia. In the bustling year of 1929, Emil Wanaka acquired a plot of land. He meticulously crafted the enchanting haven known as the Little Bohemia Lodge. Little did he know that this establishment would become a focal point of an intriguing nexus. In matters of legality, Wanakas sought counsel from the astute attorney Louis Pickwitt, who also served as the legal guardian for none other than the notorious John Dillinger. In the intriguing dance of clandestine alliances, it's believed that a prearranged agreement transpired between Pickwitt and Wanaka to aid Dillinger. On April 20th, 1934, Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, Homer Van Meter, Tommy Carroll, John Hamilton, and Pat Riley, an associate running errands for the gang, along with Nelson's wife Helen and girlfriends of the other men, arrived at the Little Bohemia. When Wanaka and his wife Nan figured out who they are, they got terrified. Later, Wanaka confronted Dillinger privately, disclosing his recognition of him from newspapers, emphasizing the sanctity of his home and family. But Dillinger assured that they are just there for a weekend rest. "Don't worry. I want to sleep and eat a few days. I'll pay you well, then we'll all get out," Dillinger told Wanaka, according to accounts. With business languishing and Wanaka grappling with mortgage woes, a financial lifeline emerged in the form of Dillinger's exorbitant $500 rent for a 3-day sojourn at Little Bohemia. Still, Wanaka was really fearing for his wife and child. Later, the couple hatched a plan and Mrs. Wanaka made a daring move of delivering a letter written by her husband to a man he knew in the U.S. Attorney's office in Chicago. She slipped the letter in her corset and got Dillinger's permission to go to her nephew's birthday party without commanding a gang member to go with her. She went away with her son, but eventually found that Babyface Nelson was following them, fueled by his innate suspicion. Mrs. Wanaka's route took her to Nothwoods to pick up her brother Lloyd Laporte before heading to Mercer to mail a crucial letter that divulged Dillinger's presence at the lodge. Aside from safety concerns of the Wanakas, the outlaws, each with a substantial bounty, presented an enticing windfall, especially Dillinger's staggering $10,000 reward in 1934, an amount that could significantly alleviate couples' financial burdens. Later, a family member contacted the Milwaukee Police Department, which directed him to contact Special Agent Melvin Purvis of the FBI in Chicago. In the intricate dance of power within the FBI, Assistant Director Hugh Clegg was placed at the helm of the operation, effectively positioning Purvis as second in command. Back at the lodge, Dillinger, a maestro of spontaneity, informed Wanaka of a change in plans, deciding to check out earlier than they were supposed to leave. He ordered an early dinner of steak and garlic, scheduled for 4 p.m. Mrs. Wanaka, tasked with disseminating this news, discreetly conveyed the message to a family member, inviting her into the kitchen and offering a pretext of excess meat for her to take. She raced to Rhinelander Airport aiming to help the Wanakas. Meanwhile, Purvis grappled with organizational challenges, including a dearth of vehicles. The scarcity of cars presented a formidable obstacle. The arrival of the news about the change of plans heightened Purvis's concerns. Finally, 4 additional cars were secured, bringing the total to 5. But agents grappled with treacherous roads, encountering melted snow, mud, and numerous holes. 2 cars succumbed to breakdowns, forcing agents to ride on the running boards of the remaining 3. Amid a dark night, Purvis ordered headlights extinguished and cigarettes put out in the pitch-dark night with snowflakes gently falling. 2 cars strategically blocked the lodge's entrance to thwart potential escape attempts. Agents, armed to the teeth with bulletproof vests, machine guns, revolvers, and tear gas, proceeded on foot, stealthily advancing through the woods. Suddenly, Wanaka's dogs erupted into a cacophony of barks, disrupting the eerie stillness. Simultaneously, 2 civilian conservation corporation workers, John Morris and Eugene Boisneau, and a salesman named John Hoffman, having just finished dinner, emerged from the lodge, mistaking them for Dillinger and his gang. The fleeing vehicle, drowned in the cacophony of a blaring radio and veiled by falling snow, rendered the agent's shouted order unheard. Bullets erupted from the agent's firearms. Morris, wounded by 4 FBI bullets, stumbled into the darkness, reaching the kitchen porch of the lodge. Hoffman, also wounded, leaped from the car and disappeared into the woods, while Boisneau, grievously injured, succumbed to his wounds. Meanwhile, Dillinger, engrossed in a card game, paid little heed to the dog's frenzied barking until the crack of gunfire shattered the tranquility. In swift response, Dillinger plunged the lodge into darkness, joining Van Meter to hastily secure money and weapons. Witnesses within the lodge attested that the outlaws refrained from firing a single shot during their escape. Van Meter and Hamilton executed their exit through an upstairs window at the rear of the lodge, while Dillinger reportedly descended the stairs, slipping away through an unguarded exit. Wanaka, accompanied by 3 women, sought refuge in the basement. The nightmare unfolded as bullets tore through the lodge, shattering windows and wreaking havoc. Returning from a transaction in St. Paul, Riley and Pat Charrington found themselves in the line of fire at the main entrance. Reacting swiftly, Riley turned off the headlights, threw the car into reverse, and sped backward onto the highway, narrowly escaping the fusillade of FBI bullets. Dillinger, Van Meter, and Hamilton descended the steep shore banks at the rear, fleeing north along Little Star Lake through pitch-dark woods for approximately a mile. Reaching U.S. Route 51, They desperately needed a vehicle. Spotting a Model T across the highway at Mitchell's Lodge, the outlaws knocked on the door. The elderly couple opened the door. They saw Mrs. Mitchell very ill. One of the outlaws requested water, but Dillinger revealed later what they truly need. Assuring Mrs. Mitchell that they meant no harm and seeking only an escape from federal pursuers, Dillinger sought to alleviate her fears. With charm and reassurance, he emphasized that he wasn't as menacing as portrayed in the media. Described as the most well-mannered among the trio, Dillinger explained their predicament and requested the use of a car for their escape. Learning that the Model T hadn't run all winter, Dillinger and the Mitchells shifted their attention to a 1930 Ford coupe parked outside, belonging to Robert Johnson from a nearby cottage. While Dillinger stayed with the Mitchells, Van Meter and Hamilton approached Johnson, fabricating a story about Mrs. Mitchell's illness and the need for urgent transportation to the hospital. With a gun pointed at him, Johnson was compelled to drive the outlaws out of town. Before their departure, Dillinger orchestrated an unusual scene, ordering everyone outside onto the porch. Despite Mitchell's objections due to his wife's illness, Dillinger, displaying an unexpected touch of empathy, wrapped a blanket around Mrs. Mitchell and assisted her to the porch before making their exit. Simultaneously, Tommy Carroll ventured north along the shore banks in an attempt to catch up with Dillinger. Meanwhile, Nelson, unable to resist engaging with the agents, became the final outlaw to flee the resort. Before disappearing into the woods, Nelson exchanged gunfire with Purvis. After hours of relentless gunfire from federal agents, a voice echoed from the lodge, pleading for a cessation of shooting with the promise to surrender. A brief pause in gunfire allowed the three shaken women, Helen Gillis, Jean Delaney, and Marie Comforti, to exit the lodge without conflict, surrendering their custody. The Little Bohemia Lodge bore witness to the aftermath of Dillinger and his gang's successful escape, having a myriad of bullet holes that still adorn the resort to this day. As the echoes of gunfire faded away in the quiet Northwoods, the events of the Little Bohemia Lodge gun battle left an indelible mark on the pages of history. The aftermath brought a mix of relief, justice, and reflection to the individuals involved and the community that witnessed the dramatic events unfold. Law enforcement's pursuit of the notorious gangsters, led by John Dillinger, ultimately succeeded. The FBI continued its relentless pursuit, and in the months that followed, several members of the gang were apprehended either through capture or fatal encounters. The Little Bohemia Lodge incident proved to be a turning point in the fight against organized crime during the infamous era of the Great Depression. For the innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire, life slowly returned to normalcy. The lodge, once a battleground, began its journey towards recovery. The bullet holes in the walls were patched, shattered glass replaced, and the scars of that night began to fade. The resilient spirit of the community persevered, as they found strength in unity and support. The FBI's tactics and strategies underwent scrutiny and revision in the aftermath of the Little Bohemia Lodge incident. Lessons were learned, procedures refined, and new approaches were adopted to ensure the safety of both law enforcement officers and the public. The incident became a catalyst for improvements in law enforcement practices and the ongoing battle against organized crime. As time passed, the Little Bohemia Lodge transformed from a symbol of violence and chaos to a reminder of the importance of justice and the resilience of communities. The individuals who lived through that fateful night carried the memories with them, a testament to the fragility of life and the courage it takes to stand against crime. The Little Bohemia Lodge gun battle became a chapter in the larger narrative of American history, a story of crime, pursuit, and the triumph of justice. The echoes of that night lingered, but the community, law enforcement, and the pursuit of justice moved forward, forever changed by the events that unfolded in the secluded Northwoods Lodge. And with that, we have come to the end of our video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. This is Ben saying, see you next time.